System Philosophy, Part 17, Intro to Logic Gridlock. This topic will be me talking about the introduction to logic gridlocking. This is one essential philosophy that is outside of system philosophy, but I believe this is something you have to master in order to become a good philosopher. What is logic gridlocking? Logic gridlocking is when you put out a stance to an argument that basically melts down the argument so that they cannot argue back anymore because it's a gridlock. It's a conceptual gridlock. They cannot argue against it. So that's the end of the argument. So you might think about how is it used. I will talk about it later. So there are many very specialized method and philosophy used in concept gridlocking, and this topic will be talking about two basic logic gridlocking method. One of the method is use of philosophy extremism until the end. You might ask, what is this? How do you use it? I will give you an example. For example, if you murdered someone and you are in court and you are trying to tell the judge why you murdered someone, the chances are you are not gonna plead guilty if you know you are getting fucked. You can try on the method, and this method is actually conceptually allowed, and it's conceptual sound. What do is you argue that your cause of action is universal, and what you had to do was universal. What's needed is absolutely needed in your case and situation. You had to make judge understand your motive at that moment in time that you murder someone. You had to make the judge to be in your shoes at that moment you murder someone. I know this sounds, how do you achieve that, right? For example, like a poor kid stole a bread. Of course, people might call him, you're a thief. However, for him, he have an argument that he's so hungry, his mother is sick, he don't have money, that's the only way to survive, which is to get the bread. In court, you cannot argue that, you are innocent. For whatever reason, you had to make it so that the judge is in your shoes, understanding your conceptual motive at that moment in time. Make them to be in your shoes so much that they will understand why you did that. Therefore, they will have the sympathy. How is it a conceptual gridlock? Is because there is no way to prove you wrong. Like you are wrong or right, because you are making this so that you are right in your shoes, so much that even if they are in your shoes, they will do the same thing. That makes it right. You know what I'm saying? I know. For this special method, you have to expand it to a certain level to make it work. You have to drag it into the very end, into the deepest level, or else you are not gonna get. You are not gonna make other people feel your situation. So this is one of the conceptual gridlock, which is make other people to be in your shoes. You know why? Because value system protects your action. If you argue it well enough, you can get to value system where it will solve the problem for you, because value system is flawless philosophy. It means nothing can argue against the logic of system philosophy. And if you manage to drag your problem into value system, it will solve the problem for you and protect you from the judgment, from any argument that they are gonna critic or argument that they're gonna throw at you. I'm not sure this is clear enough, but I want you to think about it. I know it's kind of, it's not, that previous example is not necessarily related. It's not directly related to logic gridlock, but they are actually on the same boat. but you have to think about it to get the reference, to remix it, you know. And the second method is use of declaration of infinite to lure the problem into a trap. For example, one of the philosophy, I'm just giving you an example, is nothing in this universe matters. And that's the case, you know, even if the president of President Obama or president gets murdered, you know, the earth still goes on, people still lives on. The earth, even if earth explodes, you know, the universe still goes on. And when you see problem, when you see arguments, such as when people bring like God into your argument, you know, that's a gridlock. Although this gridlock wouldn't necessarily work because declaration of infinite ruled it out, but it still wants a gridlock, which it means there's an uncertainty in this world that you can bring something like entity like God that doesn't exist into the problem. For example, like some people will argue, you know what? You can never be. How do I say this? Let me think.